Hello, friends. About 1 hour ago, the Republican budget of 2025 passed through the House. It will be signed into law, likely on Friday, by this president. If you know me, you know for many years I've looked for the bright side. I've learned the lesson that living in the past difficulty or worry about the future does not serve. Still, in moments like this, it's hard, nearly impossible to feel anything but complete devastation. Not gonna lie, not gonna pretend, deny, or deflect the new reality of our lives here in this country. I was with Sarah this morning, a sociologist, my daughter, and the two of us talked about how this felt and concern for the future. I said to her, this will impact 4 generations, the next 120 years. These people who call themselves Christians, so worried about the unborn child, are literally killing the lives of future children with this bill that they passed. I've been breathing for the last hour. We've known this was coming. We can make all the calls we want. But when the rule of law is gone, when the Constitution has been tossed out the window, when we have turned into a police state, what the people now in charge used to refer to as a banana republic in other countries, it's been hard to deny the reality that we would be faced in this moment. As I have been doing for nearly 15 years on this platform, I'm coming live here into my space to speak directly to you. I don't have millions of followers. I don't even have thousands of followers. I don't track followers. I just come here speaking to you if you find me. And I want to say to you, now is the time to grieve. Perfectly appropriate. Use whatever tools you have necessary to grieve, to understand where we are today. And it's a time to breathe. Find your breath as you can. I promise you that your breath will serve you in the moment to help you feel centered. If you're feeling imbalanced, off-centered, there's good reason to be. Don't deny it. Don't avoid it. Don't pretend. Don't deceive yourself that there's anything other than absolute necessity to feel in this new world order. Could be said there are many among us who have been living in this world order that others of us did not see. It's on us to think, study, and learn from everything that's gone in the past to figure out how we got here today. Take the time that you need. It's important to take the time that you need to feel what you need to feel today. I don't feel I'm being melodramatic or hyperbolic, emphasizing, exaggerating what happened today. Not one bit. I think that we're not concerned enough. I think that we haven't even brought enough attention to the reality that's happening on the ground. Time is a relative thing. It may take you a few minutes to come right back to equilibrium, to start shopping on Amazon again, or doing whatever it is that you do that allows you to survive today. It may take you months, it may take you a year, or likely even years. In some way, shape, or form, I've learned myself, living through trauma, it's important to give yourself time. If you live in privilege, if you yourself are not worried about this budget, if you don't think it's going to impact you, well, it'll impact some people. Well, I'm not really one of the ones who will be impacted by this budget, or people I know won't be. I want to invite you to consider a greater good. Every one of us now has the opportunity to ask ourselves, what next? What now? I come here to you often. Only recently I had a long talk with you about getting yourself organized, looking at your own systems, the systems of your life, your financial life, your well-being, your work, your home, etc. And I put that video in many places. It's easy to find in preparation for this day. I wanted to read a quote from ISABEL Wilkerson that I saw the other day. She spoke this out at the Wellesley College graduation this year. And no matter when you're seeing this, I'm live right now, but if you see this video, it's relevant to the times that we live in. She said, every single one of us on this planet is here because the ancestors of all of us found a way to somehow survive war, famine, drought, floods, depression, plagues, and pestilence, upheavals of every kind imaginable. Not one of us would be here if they had not found a way to survive. Every single one of us is a product of every single decision that every single ancestor throughout our lineage ever made. Reading these words comforted me the first time I read them, and I've put them in a couple of different places because it feels the most resonant. To tell you the truth, every single one of us living in the world today probably has it better than our predecessors. Life was hard in a way that we can't even imagine. And as to our predecessors, who among us will survive? Again, I don't think it's hyperbole to ask this question. Who among us will survive this? Who will survive physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Who among us today will survive? Will you be one of the ones? I've come here before asking you to realize that in your own family, there will be people who will suddenly be needing your help in a way they never did before. There will be people in your neighborhood, in your congregations, in your communities, and of course, in your region, state, and in our country, who are going to be needing help in ways that they never have before. This is going to happen, and I am saying to you, which group will you be in? Will you be able to survive this? Will you be financially okay? If so, will you be able to help and support others? What is the life that you're leading? How leveraged are you? If you're leveraged financially, I invite you to begin to pull it in and rein it in a bit for your own protection going forward. If you're leveraged mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, I urge you to find tools of the mind, the body, and the soul to support you so that you're not leveraged, but that you're grounded and well, so that you can be among the helpers, as Mr. Rogers talked about. His mother told him, honey, look around you. There are always helpers. You may be familiar with that quote. And I want to ask you, will you be able to be one of the helpers? Or will you be one of the people who will need to be helped? How have you lived your life? Have you lived your life in such a way that others would be happy to help you? Have you lived your life in such a way that you will happily be able to help others? I believe these questions are important. I honestly knew what was coming today. I didn't have a doubt that this bill would be passed. I don't know what's happening to people. I keep referencing that episode, that movie, the Kingsman episode, where they gave away cell phones to every person in the world and then used the frequency to have those people become violently crazy. If you've seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the way it feels to me. I don't understand it, but I'm not intended to understand it. I've made decisions in my life not to be leveraged and to be as grounded as I can and, keep it kind of small around me so that now I realize spiritually I can be one of the helpers. For the last hour, I've been laying on my bed. To my siblings, don't worry about me, I'll be okay. When I say things like this, one of my sisters calls me and says, are you okay? I mean, the answer is, I'm okay. I'm breathing, I'm well, I'm healthy, I'm upright, I'm able to come here and have this conversation. But I feel devastated inside. I feel worried and scared, even though I teach the tools and the strategies, that it's important to stay present, that worry and anxiety are only thinking about the future that is not yet happening. So pull it in, rein it in. But still in all, I'm human. I've never pretended to be anything but human. So Lisa says, we will press on, as suggested by John Lewis. And today, Hakeem Jeffries and Hoka Hay with courage, determination, and action. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much for sharing that. We will press on. And that's what I'm really coming here to ask you about today. What will you do next? Will you drink more, smoke more, spend more, gamble more, use more from just, not being able to handle all of this? I should say scroll more as well. Or will you find tools and techniques to support your mind and your heart and your soul so that you can be one of the helpers? I have a meme, you may have seen it, I share it periodically, and it says something like, I find deepness satisfying. And then it says, comma, not apologizing. Not apologizing for being deep. Depth, deepness is something that we need. Deep connections, deep thinking, deep conversations, deep relating, deepness, depth is something that we need now. And I want to encourage you to figure out what that means to you. If you follow me, you know that I teach mindset control, thought transformation. So I don't just teach these things, I live them. I only share and teach and coach in areas that I know, that I've been there, done that. And so I've been working myself with my own thoughts, literally laying on my bed being like, what the actual hell? Thinking about every person in my sphere whom I love. Thinking about future generations who will be born into chaos and poverty as a result of the Republican leadership of this country today. Democrats had the wherewithal to resoundingly reject this bill, but anyone who's been in leadership over the last, I don't know, decades to century has responsibility. In the end, it feels too much to take on the big paradigms. You know, it's like, what am I going to do? Go to Washington? You know? So that's when I kind of like rein it back in, rein it back in, rein it back in here to my voice, my heart, and my soul. And then I say, I'll come here and have a conversation with you and ask, how are you doing? What are you thinking? What will you do? Is there a way that you can, as a result of this conversation I'm having with you today, maybe do something a little bit differently, think differently in a way, commit in an activated way to reviewing your own systems and say, you know, do I have a few extra bedrooms that are empty in my house that can house a family who is going to be on the street? That's not a question. That's a definite situation, circumstance. All these people who have lost their jobs, living on one salary when they never had to before. Seniors are not going to be able to afford their medication. That's a definite. Will you have financial resources to share? With whom might you be willing to share them? Can you look around your home and see every single thing that you do not use? And will you go on to Buy Nothing on this platform, Facebook, and say, here's all the things I have for anyone who needs them? Will you look around at your neighbors and go knock on a door and say, hey, I made you some food, or do you need anything? Do you need help with anything? Will you be the person in your family, maybe, who sets up the first ever WhatsApp group, or, you know, for communicating inside your family? Will you turn your book club into a giving club in some way, shape, or form? Don't get me wrong. Perhaps we haven't read enough books. Perhaps we haven't fed our minds in a healthy way enough. But at this point, for the next decade, we're going to need groups of people coming together, bringing together energy, resources, commitment, sharing time. Young parents today with young children are struggling. They're suffering. It's difficult. They're terrified. Are you a crone? Retired children grown and gone don't need you? Could you be a babysitter in the community? Could you be a floater, babysitter, or a dog walker? So I could go on, and likely I will be coming back over the days ahead. Tomorrow is July 4th, and I know that many of you have barbecues and picnics, and you'll be drinking and eating and celebrating or partying if not celebrating. And that's a good thing. If there's one thing that we learned from people in concentration camps, internment camps, wrongly imprisoned, from people who have been persecuted and had to be underground, we know the importance of finding a single point of light and coming together in quiet celebration or raucous celebration. We're being told by some people, take back the 4th of July, take back democracy. And don't get me wrong, tomorrow for 5 or 6 hours, I'll be at a party sponsored by the Democratic Party after the big 4th of July parade here in Flagstaff, Arizona. I've been working on a committee for a few months. Every single week we planned a big event, and we're going to be there. We're going to be happy. We're going to be active. We have volunteer signups for opportunities. We're going to have an information booth where you can, ask me anything. A couple of people who are familiar with how democracy works. We're going to have free ice cream, etc. So is that something that you can do in your neighborhood? Do you know a politics professor who might do an Ask Me Anything about democracy Zoom program? I mean, really, friends, the opportunities are endless. Most of all, our job is our energy. My job is my energy. You're allowed to, in this free world still, so far, you're allowed to think and feel and say whatever you want. Wow, that just came over me. It's very possible that we will lose freedom of speech. We already, have seen episodes of this with the media, etc. But for the moment, you're still allowed to think what you want. You're allowed to say what you want. You're allowed to feel how you want. I encourage you to do all of it. I'm not coming here to tell you to do anything, and certainly not how to do anything. I'm coming here to ask you, what will you do next? If you feel, as I do, completely, utterly, personally devastated by what the Republican leadership of this country has done today, then I want to ask you, where will your personal agency be? Give yourself time, but please, friends, find your personal agency. Be resilient. Be resilient. Press on and rise. Wishing you the best. I want to remind you about what I teach MBB in Qigong: mind focus, breath awareness, body movement. This is one of the ways that you'll be able to press on. Get your thoughts in control. Tend to your breathing. Long, slow, deep breath in. Long, extended exhale out through your nose. And make sure that you tend to your body. Lift your body. Open your shoulders back and down. Make sure that you don't collapse. Okay, friends, I'll see you soon.